School Road to Highfield Drive West due to a collision there. On the inbound Eisenhower, traffic is a little bit heavy now around Des Plaines Avenue. It's 30 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 31 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Bryan, 17 minutes from 95th. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. On AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Clouds and sunshine today, high 58. Considerable clouds overnight, occasional rain, maybe another thunderstorm like we had last night. Low of 51. 47 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Insurance Guy. Tune in Saturday afternoons 4 to 5 for The Insurance Guy with Steve Lischewitz, president of SVL Insurance Group.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We've been talking about it at some length this morning. The order coming down from Governor Pritzker that the collar counties will return to, I don't know, I can't keep track of these phases, will return to being more locked down than they were right now as of the end of this week on Friday. No indoor dining, no indoor patrons for restaurants and bars, most notably in addition to a cap on of 25 people congregating or 25% capacity for establishments, generally speaking.
Outdoors. And then the only way you can go inside, guys, is if you have to use the bathroom. So get your hall passes out.
And so what are suburban businesses to do? Their patrons. And, oh, by the way, if you think you're insulated from the capriciousness of these lockdown policies, well, that's where you're wrong. And it can just as easily extend to other businesses. It can just as easily extend to
Cook County.
Other parts of the state, the rest of the state, I should say. And I think you're definitely going to have non-enforcement, shall we say, downstate with the edicts that Pritzker has also issued for downstate communities.
Yeah, Region 8.
But the question is, what's going to happen here in the suburbs? The hate has no home here suburbs. At least they become dominated by the hate has no home here shrews, haven't they? So what are you going to do? That's what I want to know. And also, what are mayors going to do? Are they going to tell their police forces to stand down? Mayors and city councils, village boards. Are they going to tell their police to stand down because the governor is not going to enforce this himself?
No.
The state police aren't going to enforce this. There's not enough bureaucrats at the various state departments, liquor commissioner, health department to enforce it. So what are village governments going to do? Well, let's get a handle from Craig Johnson, who's the mayor of Elk Grove Village, which is a split between Cook County and DuPage County. So that's going to be interesting. Half his county is open and half his county is not, at least if the Pritzker edict is enforced. Craig, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Good morning, guys. Glad to be here.
Morning. So how do you and how does your business community react to the latest pronouncement from the Pritzker?
Well, we've not seen any, official warnings or notices from us. We're kind of unique because we do have part of our business park in DuPage County. But I think the big hits are on more restaurants and that type of establishments, which we don't have here in Elk Grove in the DuPage County portion. So, but, the bottom line is, Dan and Amy, is we're trying to find ways to get back to a little more normalcy in a safe way. So that's why we were, I think, maybe the first community in the state to come up with a program for trick-or-treating. We got to get the families together again, get the families out, doing some normalcy with the young kids and everything. So we found a safe way to do trick-or-treating this year here in Elk Grove. And same thing we're doing for our annual tree lighting.
Well, now just wait. On the trick-or-treating piece, will you be dressed up like a Rona Buster for trick-or-treat?
I'm not sure that, but I'll tell you this, though, Dan. I'm 60 years old, and I have never missed a year of trick-or-treating. So I dress up in a costume every year, I go out when I was a kid. I did it when my kids were young. I'm now going out with my grandkids. So I'm 60 for 60.
Do you actually take candy, or do people say
Sure.
Mayor?
No.
Do people say, Mayor, would you please stop already? You're embarrassing
Oh,
yourself.
no. First off, I wear a costume, Dan. I dress up.
Right. Well, what are you going to be this year?
This is my toughest year because I got to incorporate a mask somehow into my costume. So I'm working on it. But no, and most time they don't even know who I am. And but I do the right thing. I put on costume. I do everything by the rules. There's no law that says what age you can trick or treat at. And I always tell people, only in America can you go to a stranger's door, say 3 words, and they give you candy.
All right. Well, how are you handling it then this year? Because some people don't want people coming to their door.
Right. So what we did was, and we thought this through, same thing with our tree lighting, we thought this through. So all trick-or-treaters and people come, the parents, whoever goes with them, need to wear a mask as part of the costume. The people at the houses, we encourage them. We don't force them. We encourage them to wear a mask and gloves. We don't ask for a communal bowl, so they don't have everyone reaching into it, that the homeowner puts a candy in each person's bag or bucket, whatever they have. But what we did uniquely was we mailed out to every home in Elk Grove a sign. One side is green that says trick-or-treaters welcome. The other side says trick-or-treaters please pass this year. We'll see you next year. And it's red. So you put that in your front door, your window.
Yeah.
Very
then
smart.
people see.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
Then the kids know which houses
to
to
egg.
egg. Yeah, exactly. It's so helpful. It's nice. The village.
And a lot of towns copied us. I know Naperville took our program. They incorporated it, and many of our neighbors did. And that's what I'm trying to say. You can do things safely, but you can still get back to normalcy. My kids and my grandkids and my neighbors' kids are so excited. They've been thanking me for 2 weeks. Thank you, Mayor. We get to go trick-or-treating. Thank you, Mayor. We didn't think we could go out. Again, we can do it safely, but also have fun and become normal again.
Can you live stream yourself trick or treating? Can you wear one of those
GoPro thing?
GoPro head cameras there? Because I've already made my Thanksgiving plans. I'm going to watch the Lightfoot family have Thanksgiving in lieu of having Thanksgiving with my family because I just need to live vicariously through politicians like the Lightfoot. So if maybe I could live vicariously through you for Halloween.
Well, we'll see what we can work out for you.
All right, thank you very much.
Now, also, you did something that I thought was, I don't know, provocative a little bit. You raised the American flag because since March, Governor Pritzker has ordered all flags at half-staff because of COVID. The number one killer in Illinois, cancer, heart disease, and then the flu, and then maybe COVID. We don't, all the numbers aren't in yet. But why did you decide, you know what, we're done with this, and you raised the flag?
Well, it's not to be offensive, Amy, but I'm not done with it. But, I feel bad for anyone that's lost life or even been sick by coronavirus. But we got to, again, get back to normalcy. I've had more people over the months say, Mayor, why are the flags at half-staff? Mayor, why are the flags at half-staff? Lowering a flag to half-staff, to me, is a very important symbol. It's an honored symbol. And for us to do it and just leave it perpetually down loses any sense of importance. COVID's going to be with us for many years. Whether the numbers drop down, hopefully, it's still going to be out there to some degree. Are we going to leave the flags down for perpetuity? It should be done right. And what happened was, after it was ordered to lower the flags for Justice Ginsburg's passing by the federal government, we didn't have to lower them. And that made me start thinking more that, hey, this is getting a little overboard. Again, we got to get back to a sense of more normalcy. I don't want people walking around with a droop face all the time because the flags are perpetually at half-staff. So we said, hey, we did it in honor of those people. We haven't forgotten them. We still remember them, but we need to get it back up. And again, if something else happens that we need to lower them, we will. But it's got to be on a specific purpose and time. It can't be down for perpetuity. Because technically what's going on is until a death never occurs again in the history of man for coronavirus, we should leave the flags down the way it's set now. And to me, it's just not right. So it was good to do it when we did it. Got the message out, let people know we care. We're past that point now as far as keeping it down forever. And if we need to lower it again in the future, we will for something else. But it was time to raise it. And most of my residents have actually thanked me for that.
So you know all the mayors in the region, part of the Northwest Municipal Conference. What's your sense talking to your colleagues, mayors and village board members from throughout Northwest Suburban Cook County and DuPage County as well? about the policies that are being pursued and the way they're being pursued at the state level with respect to COVID?
Well, again, this is new for everyone, whether you're the President of the United States, the Governor of Illinois, or the Mayor of Elk Grove Village. This is something we haven't seen for 102 years. So we don't have a game plan. No one really does. We're almost going along on the fly. But with that said, there is a lot of frustrations. We understand people want to be safe, and I respect that. Safety should be paramount to everyone's view. But we got to be careful that we don't overdo things. We don't go too far on things. And we got to be, my old saying I've always said is, since I became mayor, is you got to be firm but flexible. And so that's, I think we need more of a sense of that from Washington to Springfield, and some of my neighboring mayors need to be. Again, we have to set guidelines, but got to learn to adjust them and adapt them as things change. So just like our tree lighting ceremony, that's such an important time, that holiday season kickoff for everyone in this country. And so we want to get back to sense of normalcy. So we're going to have ours this year.
Good.
We're going to require masks. You can't social distance too much, but if you're comfortable, we're going to have enough space to space out if you want to. But again, you're going to be outdoors with a mask. We're not going to be serving food. You can't sit on Santa's lap. But we're still going to light the trees. We're still going to have fireworks. We're still going to have Santa come. He'll hand you the candy canes, just like at trick-or-treating. You have a mask on. He'll have a mask on. Santa have gloves
Santa
on.
with a mask?
Do you
You're going to make Santa wear a mask?
Wait, hold on. Did you sit on Santa's lap, too, in addition to trick-or-treating? You still doing that? Are you 60 for 60 with that, too?
That I did stop.
All right, thank God. Oh,
I did fall line somewhere. But again, it comes down to that. But what we did unique for our tree line this year is we also want to thank those that have helped us for the last 7 months. So we're thanking our first responders and our medical people and all essential workers. So our Christmas tree will be all white lights this year for our medical personnel. One row of trees by the Christmas tree will be blue for our policemen. The other row of trees will be red for our firemen. Then the main row of trees will be green. That's our community color that thanks all essential workers and the community as a whole coming together. We still have thousands of green ribbons on our trees throughout this village. So when people say, well, you raised the flag, Mayor, did you forget? I said, no. Drive every street in the village, you'll find hundreds of green ribbons. We're not forgetting those people that are battling COVID or those fighting for it or fighting for us. So that's why we're showing it. But we're going to do unique. We're going to thank the first responders and all the rest. All
right. He is Craig Johnson, Mayor of Elk Grove Village. It's almost enough to make me want to move to Elk Grove Village if it wasn't in Illinois. That's the kicker. That's the problem with Elk Grove Village. Craig Johnson, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
And thank you both, and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Demand from China causing aluminum prices to soar. Movie theaters struggle to make up lost revenue. Those stories next. You've all probably heard of asbestos and know that it's dangerous. And you may also know exposure to asbestos is the only known cause of mesothelioma, a deadly cancer. People who were exposed to asbestos decades ago are being diagnosed to this day with mesothelioma. That's because it can take as many as 30 or even 50 years to develop. But did you also know there's money to pay victims of asbestos exposure from years ago? An estimated $30 billion available to help compensate victims and their families. If you or a member of your family have been diagnosed with mesothelioma, you may be able to receive some of the